Good night. How everyone doing tonight? God is good and God is good all the time. My name is Irma J. Spirit Divine. I'm here to give you a little word on tonight, and we're gonna be still talking about Jacob. You know, yesterday I talked about Jacob. His family was the nation. So I'm taking it all the way back when he was born, and it was announced that he was gonna be a nation. That he is a nation. You know, and you know Jacob is a twin, a brother of Esau, you know, and both of them supposed to be a nation, but we see that Jacob followed through, but we didn't hear anything else about Esau, you know. So this story is about Rebekah, who is childless, you know, to have any kids, you know, but her husband Isaac would pray for her on her behalf. You know, he have a good relationship with God, you know, so he would pray to God for them to have a child. You know, so Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. You know, 40 years old when he married Rebekah. You know, so we still talking about Jacob. We're talking about this nation. You know, I had to take it way back that it was announced it was a nation when he was in his mother womb. You know, so it been so was born he was born as a nation. Now he is a twin brother of Esau. Now Isaac prayed for children and God gave him twins. Rebecca prayed and God gave her two nations. So Isaac was 60 years old when Rebecca conceived with these twins. So Rebecca became pregnant with twins and received God's prophecy of the nation. So the Lord appeared to Isaac. Now, just after he had prayed, the Lord appeared to Isaac and said, "Stay in this land for a while, and I will be with you, and I will bless you. For to you in your family I will confirm the oath that I swore to your father Abraham." You see what I'm saying? So this will all this still come in place while he loved the Israelites so much, because he made a promise and a comforter with Abraham. Abraham hadn't got old and couldn't follow through God's plan. But it passed on to Isaac. He got old and couldn't follow through. So that's when he had this dream with put this dream in Jacob. Man, remember I talked about that yesterday with the ladder. And God explained to him the plan that he have that gonna take place. Not and Jacob was young then. He didn't have no children, none of that. But God's saying you gonna have children, and your children gonna multiply as a nation. And so the Lord appeared to Isaac, and that's when he explained to him, "I need you to stay right here in this land for a while. I'm gonna bless you in this land right here. So I need you to stand right here in this land." So they waited on God, and to wait on God, you got to have faith and you got to have courage, because they had to wait 20 years when God answered their prayers. So the Lord revealed to Rebekah about her two sons. So these two sons will have family, will be separated, nation, and one nation will be stronger than the other. So we know that Jacob and Esau did separate, because Jacob had stole Esau blessing. He took and ran by his mama brother house. So they were separated until 20 years, until they had that met up with each other. So this story gonna come from Genesis 20, chapter 25, verse 19 through 34. So this is kind of the family bloodline that God used for glory and also made history. Abraham and Isaac. So now Isaac was 40 years old when he married Rebekah. And he was 60 years old when Rebekah conceived. So Isaac prayed to the Lord on his behalf for a child. And the Lord answered his prayers, and Rebekah became pregnant. So now Rebekah is pregnant, and babies are joined each other, and she asks why this has happened. Because normally you're supposed to feel one baby, but she kept on feeling two, running around and stuff. So she asking God, what is going on? She had to explain to her what she was carrying. So the Lord responded, two nations are in your womb, and two people from within you will be separated. Esau and Jacob, they were separated. One people will be stronger than the other. And the other will serve the youngest one. So God revealing to her what she have in her belly. What she carrying. God revealing to her. They're gonna be nations. You know, and they're gonna be following along God's plan. So when time for Rebekah to give birth, there was twins inside of her. First came out first was red, and the whole body was just hairy. So that's Esau. So the second one came out grafting to his of Jacob. So you see, so that's Esau. I mean Jacob. So Isaac was 60 years old when Rebekah conceived these two twins, and Esau was born before Jacob, who came out holding on to his brother, his as if he was trying to push him back in his womb to be the oldest child, you know. So the boys grew up. Esau became a skillful hunter, and Jacob was content being at home. So Jacob used to be at home while Esau was always in the field. And he always was cooking for his father. And his father always liked the meal that he'll fix for them. So now so Esau was born before Jacob. So if he was trying to put Esau back into the womb so that he could be firstborn, name Jacob means he grabs the head, which is Hebrew for deception and behavior. Now the boys grew up. And they become skillful hunters. Jacob loved being at home. Isaac Isaac loved being in the field. So Isaac loved Esau because Esau was always in the field and making him that good tasting food. And then Rebekah loved Jacob. you know. So now we have two parents picking a child who they love the most. You know. So when Jacob get in trouble, his mama always rescue him, and pulled him out. So now these two boys are grown, but Jacob deceived his brother Esau from his birthright, from his blessing. He was just deceiving them in all kind of ways. Now Esau and Jacob was supposed to be a nation. But we see that Jacob's seed did become to be nation. And we didn't hear anything else about Esau. Now since since he went with Jacob after 20 years. They had to wait 20 years, when God answered their prayers. So Jacob's family multiplied as a nation, so Jacob's seed followed through. God's plan was complete, and God also got to glory. Now Esau was supposed to be a nation, but Noah hasn't followed through. So that's what we just talk about the nation. We're talking about that yesterday. So now we see at birth, that God said these two was gonna be a nation. There was gonna be a nation. And so we see that the Israelite was the bloodline from Jacob. It was from Jacob. So that's all the word I have for you tonight. And I see you on the next video. You have a blessed night.